after that with the guitar DI, other things you can try. This is the guitar cable that came out of the bass amp. I've just swapped it. What you can do is you can try taking out the cable here, because the guitar lead could be dead. Make sure that the channel is muted back at the desk first, otherwise you're going to get a nice loud pop. Take that out and swap it, and then plug this end into the guitar and see if that works for you. Pretty much, if you have a red light on the back, you should be in business. So essentially, you can almost guarantee that the signal to this point is working because it's got power to it. All of that comes through this one cable. So it's more likely something with the guitar or the guitar lead. That's what it's going to be most of the time. Another thing just to bear in mind with this box, it's called a DI box. And we can attenuate, which means take volume off, using these buttons here. So sometimes these are pressed all the way in, which means that it's just taking off lots and lots of volume. So it's taking off 20 decibels of volume if they're clicked in. Depending on the guitar that's set up, the guitarist should be able to help you with this, but if it's really, really, really loud, you can actually press one of these buttons in and it just brings the volume down by 20 decibels. Most of the time, they're both just out, but that's just something to be aware of. I'll just quickly show you the DI box for the keyboard as well. So here is the keyboard. Coming out of the keyboard, I've got the output. This is just a same thing, guitar cable, or just a instrument cable in this case, not a guitar one, same thing. And it just comes down to this DI box here. Sometimes you have two cables going into it, depends on what instruments are in here. But anyway, essentially instead of back and front, I'm just going to take this out to avoid confusion. So this is the cable coming from the desk to here. You can see that the DI box is lit up. And this is channel 1, where the keyboard gets plugged into, and then the signal goes out to the sound disk. Again, you can see on here there is an attenuation switch that you can flick down. I would suggest leaving that at 0. And don't worry too much about the other ones. I won't get you too bogged down in that. Yeah, so that's the other DI box that we have. You can plug in, this one is always plugged in there anyway, but you can plug in a second keyboard here if you wanted to. Apart from that, other microphones we have. The kick drum microphone, that should just be wired straight into that patch panel that I showed you earlier. The drum overhead microphone, that should be sitting about there, just nice and centered above the drums, picking up everything. For the bass guitar, we have this cable here, coming straight out of the bass amp, and that just goes straight into the patch panel as well. And for the electric guitar, we just have this microphone sitting on the stand, the short little cable, and that just goes into the front, well, it's pointed straight at the front of the guitar amplifier. Then we have the 3 singers mics that you guys probably know about too. Yeah, so if you're ever in doubt where they should plug into, you can just look it up on this routing setup. So drum overhead, number 1, kick drum microphone, number 2, bass guitar, number 3, acoustic guitar, 4. We've only got one electric guitar, but if you had a second one, you can actually plug in microphone number 2, that's already patched into number 6. That's all ready to go. You just got to plug in a microphone into that patch panel. Wind and strings, we've got spare channels there if we ever have any of those. Organ is number 9. We've got 2 keyboard channels, 10 and 11. Then our vocal channels, red, blue and green. In this case it's a black lead at the moment instead of red, but that's how the rest of everything goes. So they all correspond and they're wired into the back of the mixer like this. So it'll be channel number 1 through to about 16 for your instruments. Anyway, this is gold, this bit of paper. It should really help you out. It's always been sitting up the back, so feel free to grab it. Please just put it back afterwards. I hope this has been helpful.